All right, ready to go, buddy? I'm gonna let some folks in here. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Pain-Free Movement Monday with John Sinclair. I'm gonna let some folks in here. And sorry, I was playing with my sound. So welcome, everybody. Monday, we're here with John Sinclair, Pain-Free Movement Monday. As always, we're going to do 21 minutes or so of movement. So that's 3 7-minute movement snacks with John. And then we have time at the end for Q&A. We're here on Zoom. We're here on YouTube. I know we have some facility operators joining us today. Welcome, everybody. We're going to have John walk you through some movement. If you have questions, you can drop them either in the YouTube chat or in the Zoom chat here as we go. So drop us your questions while John's walking you through the movement here, and we'll get to them at the end. So take it away, Johnny.
Thanks, buddy. Hey, everyone. So happy to have you here. We're going to take you through, as Dan said, 3 different little doses, 7 minutes each. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite you all to kind of just go at your own pace. You can try to stay at my tempo. I'm going to try to keep it as a fairly rhythmical tempo throughout it, or speed, and just match and mirror me. We're going to explore your movement bubble, and you're just going to stay within that. And what I mean by that is you only step as far as you feel comfortable, you only go as deep as you feel comfortable, or you only reach as far as you feel comfortable. It's all within your bubble. Just stick to my tempo. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to try and drive a little bit of mobility into some key areas of the body, starting with the lower back, going to the knees, and then a little bit into the rib cage, which is a little unique strategy for you today. So I'm going to move this into a spot where you can see my body a little bit more. Hopefully that's okay. And if you want and need to have a chair or something around with you, keep that nearby. We're going to come to it here in a second. The first thing we're going to do is a little local rub and scrub. What we do is we're going to take your knuckles and we're going to create a little bit of friction against your lower back. So we're going to go up and down, up and down. Let me start my clock. Like that. And actually, before we do that, why don't we just do a little sit and reach test? I like doing this first. You're just going to sit like you're sitting into a chair and reach your hands forward like somebody's handing you a box of apples. You're just going to reach. You're reaching into the back of the truck to grab those apples. Just get a sense of what that feels like in your lower back. Okay, so now we'll start that rub and scrub. You take your knuckles and you're going to go up and down across your lower back. We're just going to create some friction, which is going to drive some heat and some fluid to that area and make that bone want to glide a little bit better. So as we do our sit and reach, it'll feel a little bit better. So you've gone up and down. Now let's just kind of scrape across your lower back. Right across that big sacrum bone, which is the triangular bone that goes like that in your lower back. Okay, now let's maybe go to the outside of the hips. So if you trace your hands down your hips, you'll feel this little knob on the outside, a knobby bone. You're going to get your hands on that little knobby bone and go up and down. This is a big anchor point for the muscles in the thighs as it crosses the hip joint. So going right on that hip. Okay, and then we'll maybe go to the front of the hip bone. So trace your fingers across to the front of the hip bone. And we're just going to rub that bone. So I can use my thumbs, use your knuckles, whatever feels like you feel like you can get some friction on it. Okay, and from there we're going to go to the knees. So you can do this seated if you wish, or I'm just going to elevate my foot, but if you want, you just go seated, and you're just going to rub your knee bone. So from here, I'm going to elevate my foot, and I'm just going to give a little scrub on the knee. So I got both hands wrapping around the knee, and you want to try and create a bit of friction here, so we can create a bit of heat. Get right on those bones. You can go up and down the shin bone. Okay, now let's try the other side. Feels really nice. Should start to feel warm. Okay, And then just for interest's sake, go ahead and try your sit and reach now. Should feel like your knees feel a little bit smoother, your lower back feels smoother. I know for me that I was feeling pretty sticky back there in my lower back, and that one felt much better now. Okay, so let's go to the rib cage. You're just going to take your hand across your ribs. You're seated. This is an easy one to do. And you're just going to create friction on the rib cage. So this one helps in the reaching part. So I'm going to take the heel of my hand. And I'm just going to really push into my rib cage and give the breathing muscles that attach into the ribs, your diaphragm, get under the big dome of the diaphragm and massage on that spot. Okay, you can go right up into the sternum. Okay, and then let's try your sit and reach. And your arms should feel like they have a bit more glide in them as well. Okay, and it's a tricky way for me to get you to do lots of squats. Okay, let's mobilize your hips now. A mobilizer is a slow, subtle motion of the hip. What I'm going to have you do is you're going to stagger your stance. If you want to have your chair around with you, you're welcome to. So if I stagger my stance, that means I got one foot just a little bit further forward than the other. I can put one hand on my hip, one hand on the chair, or both hands on my hips. I'm just going to slide my hips side to side. So the goal of driving circulation into the body is to get those sliding surfaces of the connective tissues to want to be a little bit more slippery. We got some water going there. That will also create a bit of space in the joints. And now we get to access that space in the hips and the spine. Okay, let's switch other foot forward. I'll do this one with one hand on. Real slow, it's not a race. We're just mobilizing. Side to side. Okay, now we're going to go back the other foot, but we're going to change directions that the pelvis is moving. So let's go into rotation this time. Slowly rotate. Feel your feet accessing the ground. When you move towards your lead leg, you'll feel that your weight shifts to the outside of the foot. When you rotate away from your lead leg, you'll feel on your front foot that inside of that foot grabs the ground, and vice versa on the other foot. That's why I like doing the staggered stance, because it gives us a chance to mobilize the pelvis, but we're also mobilizing the foot and the ankle and the hip joint itself. Okay, other leg forward, same drill. Find a stance you feel you have your best balance in. And just slowly rotate through. Okay, now we're going to go hips going forwards and backwards. This one you can have your hands out in front of you. We're just going to tilt your pelvis back, then bring your pelvis forward. Tilt your pelvis back, so as though someone would be able to put a glass of water on your lower back. You want to keep your lower back flat, so we can get the most out of that tilt there. So let's stagger your stance as you do it. Okay, other side. All right, now let's add some reaches to it. You take your hands out at the side. You can have one here for balance. You take that arm, bring it all the way across your body in the reach. So I got one foot further forward than the other. Just take that arm across, let your eyes go with your hand. Nice and slow. Okay, and we stagger the other foot forward. Eyes follow your hand. Let's do my other side of my body. Okay, let's Stagger your stance, bring both hands. You're going to reach them up to the sky, then back below your hips. This is exercise number 1 on our second phase. So now we're starting to get into loading the body a little bit more with a little bit of strength activity here. Having to slow your body down as you come towards the ground, bending the hip, bending the knee. Okay, let's go to the other side. It's almost like a little swing. If you need to have a hand on the chair here, boom, reach, drive your hands back. Boom. If you don't like your eyes going all the way up and all the way down because it's too challenging for your balance, just keep your eyes out in front of you. Shorten your bubble. Find a distance you feel comfortable going in, but stay rhythmical. Okay, one hand on your chair. Drill number 2, we're going into a march. So this hand can be here for balance, or we can drive your hands opposite of your knee lift. So what I like thinking about doing is punching the ground underneath you as though your feet are hammers and the ground is nails. So you're going to punch the ground down. That way we can teach the feet to capture lots of energy from the ground. That helps the mechanoreceptors in the bottom of the feet, which are just big communicators that tell your body how to coordinate motion. Okay, there's march. Okay. Next one we're going to do is shuffle walk. So a shuffle walk, we get into a little bit of a low stance, so feel like you've got lots of balance here. I'm going to stay within chair distance. So if I need to grab onto that chair, I can. So this is shuffle walk. If you want, we can go into shuffle march, which just means I stay a little bit more upright, but I'm nearby my chair. So we can go shuffle walk. One way, shuffle march back. Then we go shuffle march, shuffle walk. Okay, one more time. Let's go march, shuffle, shuffle, march. Very good. Okay, have your chair nearby you. We're going to do some staggered squats. Squat means we're going to fold the body. So we're going to stagger your stance. And all we're going to do is we're going to try to get a little bit lower and up. A little bit lower. Come up. A little bit lower. Come up. Lower. Come up. So you can see my back foot. I don't have that planted on the ground. I'm just going to keep my heel up a little bit. And just try to get a little bit lower. Okay, let's put your other foot forward. Try to get a little bit lower. And just a little bit lower, like that's a little bit lower. That's a lot lower. You just find out what depth you feel comfortable going in here. Two more. One more. Good job. Little baby marches. We'll get you ready for your next one. Next one, we're going to have you line up really, really wide here. Okay, just like you're down on the ski hill and someone wants to ski between your legs. You're going to take your hands, keep them on the chair in front of you, and just shift your head print over your footprint as you go side to side here. Boom. If you don't want your chair, you can transition your hands to the opposite leg. We call this a lateral squat or a side squat. It's still a squat because we're folding the body. We just change the direction that we're squatting in. Okay. All right. Well, if we've done up and down squat, we've done side squat, we're going to do a rotational squat now. So I'm going to have that staggered stance. I'm going to be close to my chair. I'm going to squat, and as I squat, I'm going to reach to the opposite side of the chair with my opposite hand. Reach and fold, and then my other hand's here for balance. There you go. Okay, let's go to the other side. Swing my chair around so you can see what I'm doing. So my inside foot's going to be close to the chair. You'll probably feel that when you rotate, you feel like you're putting a little bit of force into the close hip, the hip that's closest to the chair. Go. Awesome. Okay, and then the very last thing we're going to do, we're going to take a long stance here. And all we're going to do is we're going to reach down towards your knee and then up towards the sky. So down towards the knee, up towards the sky. You want to keep one hand on, just reach down, reach up. So we got a bit of a bend here. A little bit of a bend, less of a squat, still folding the body, just kind of accessing it from the spine rather than from the hips and the legs. Okay, going to the other foot forward. Left foot forward, Johnny. Put the chair over here. And one more time. There you go. Well, we've been up on your feet for a little bit. Let's go ahead and have a seat on the chair. And we'll do a little bit of a recovery dosage here. So, seated in my chair, I'm going to take one arm, I'm going to bring it around my body. Lift your spine as tall as you can, spread your shoulders out. Take some deep breaths here. Slowly come to center. Breath in, switch into the other side. Time. Okay. We're going to reach both hands to the sky. Try to think about trying to get your palms up towards the sky as tall as you can. Wide through the shoulders. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to extend one leg out in front of you and just hold that. Bring your hands down. Relax for a second. Same thing. Palms are going up. Opposite legs coming out in front of you. Hands come down. Or take your opposite leg. You're going to bring it up onto your knee if you can. We're going to bring this up across your knee, just like you're seated cross-legged. But I need you to sit upright a little bit more. Make your foot in and your shin into a 90-degree angle. Sit up as tall as you can. Take some deep breaths. Okay, switching to the other side. with a nice stretch for the outside of the hip. Okay, you let that come down a little bit. We're going to slide a little bit more to the front of the chair so you can open your stance up. From here, you're going to turn your toes, point your toes up. I know you can't see my feet right now, but I got my feet pointed up so that my toes are pointing to the sky. Rotate your body and then just lean into that leg a little bit. You'll feel a bit of a stretch into your hamstring. Hold that position. Okay, then you're going to come to the other side, rotate your trunk, lean into it a little bit. Get a little stretch in your lower back and your hamstring. Okay, come back to neutral. Bring your feet in a little bit closer. Pretend you're playing the drums with your feet. Just want to do a little bit of stimulation. The bottom of your feet. A little light clapping on your legs. Do the same thing on the other leg. Up and down your arms. The other arm. On the rib cage, the abdomen. There you go. Give yourself a hand. You guys did lots of exercise today. Great job. That's 21 minutes, starting with some mobility strategies, then a little bit of strength training, and then we finish with a little bit of recovery, and at the very end, a little stimulation. I like doing the stimulation thing right at the end. If everyone's wondering what that's doing, just stimulating the sensory system. So it almost feels like, wow, I did a little nice recovery, but I don't want to be sleepy after my recovery. So I do a little bit of body clapping, we call it. So little body slaps. And that'll help stimulate the sensory system so you feel a little bit more alert. We still got maybe a few more hours to go in the day. So hope that helps you. And I'm sticking around to answer any questions you might have of what we did today or how we might be able to help you here in the future.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, keep your questions coming. I got a few here on YouTube, John.
Okay.
So it looks like we've got a walking group or something joining us. They're just asking, would you recommend that they do this session before their walk or after their walk?
Yeah, great question. Both work really well. When you mobilize the whole body, it's going to make your walk feel like you're moving a little bit more efficiently. But then the benefit of walking is you get global circulation helping you. So then that's going to prepare you for some of the strategies that we did today. Because if we had more global circulation, you're going to even feel even better doing some of the mobility. So I would say either are very positive.
Cool, cool. Another person here talking about their low back being a little bit sore when they're doing some of the bending exercises. What do you recommend when trying to participate in these sessions?
Yeah, anything that requires a forward flexion or bend of the body, it still falls in the rules of what is your bubble and where do you feel comfortable. So for some people, they can, that are really bendy, they can bend their head right between their legs, right? And for other people that are a little bit stiffer people, they tend to, restrict that. Or if they've had back pain, their nervous system says, I don't want you to bend, right? So the trick is just stay within your bubble. So if I bend this far and I'm not very comfortable, just bend to here. So you stay within your bubble, and then the nervous system will eventually go, hey, you know what? It's feeling pretty safe. I feel pretty good. I'm going to be able to take it a little bit further. And then the other part to that is make sure we get good circulation in the lower back. So a lot of the strategies that we have in 7 movements specifically for back pain is making sure that we're flooding a lot of fluid to that area first and foremost, making sure all those bones want to move really well. So we're working on creating some mobility in that area, especially around the lumbopelvic hip complex. So lumbo being the lower back, pelvis being making sure we got good motion in all the motions and all the joints in the pelvis. And then the hips where the femur articulates into the pelvis. Does it have adequate motion in there? That joint is a ball and socket joint. So it has a lot of freedom of motion, but a lot of people, their hip joint doesn't move very well. So if that doesn't move very well, the pelvis isn't going to move very well. The pelvis in the bend pattern And if the pelvis doesn't move well, the lumbar spine is going to take all that force. So, and then from the top down, we want to mobilize the thoracic spine. So all the reaching that we were doing in different directions is going to help with forward flexion of the lumbar spine.
Awesome. Awesome. I see Marissa here is asking if you can't cross your leg, is there an alternative?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's all part of, like, if I can't get my ankle all the way up there because my hip is too tight, then what we might do is just start crossing, cross it where you feel most comfortable. So in this case, you're having to lift the ankle all the way up, but you're at a 90-degree hip flexion. So when I'm like this and I have to bring it up, I'm having to elevate also into 90 degrees of hip flexion. So what I could do is I could shift forward in my chair a little bit and just go from here to here. So now I don't have to lift this as high because I'm not going from here to here. So this might be where I start. And then as I get going, then I can start traveling higher and higher and higher and then bringing my heel underneath me. Right? The other way you could do it is lying on your back. So if I lie on my back, I don't have to lift my leg as high relative to gravity. So I can lay on my back and do it. So that now I slide that foot. Bring my camera down here, sorry. So I can slide my foot up and then just let gravity pull my knee down. That's going to give me a little bit more space in my hip capsule. And then my next trick is I'm going to slide this heel up. And so that way I've got lots of bubble to explore here, but it's within your bubble. Whereas I kind of did the exercise where we're going right up here, right off the bat. So a gradual way would be to slowly drag that guy up and then this one up. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah, we got a nice on that one, so that must be helping. Yeah, that's it for questions today, John. I think we nailed it. I hope everybody had a really good session. And maybe talk a little bit I know there's some facility people on the line here, John. Maybe talk a little bit about what we're doing with folks that can bring us into their facility.
Yeah, so one of I think the most beneficial thing that we can do is start to educate caregivers on how they can implement some of these strategies for the folks that they're caring for. That's our first and foremost. So we always want to start with working with people who are kind of like your leaders, and we take them through a health leader certification. So we walk you through all these strategies and then empower you to have the skill sets to be able to start teaching this movement and helping coach these people through when we come into these live experiences specifically for your organization. And then that way you can be with them, helping them out if they feel like they need anything. And that is just a wonderful combination of having a live coach with an on-site advocate helping them through these movement strategies.
Yeah, you can bring a session like this into your facility every day with one of our experts like John. So yeah, that's it for today. Thanks for joining, everybody, and hopefully we'll see you at some future sessions. Hopefully this was enjoyable, and thanks, John, once again.